Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Cindy Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff. And this week, August, you might want us to continue covering new releases into August continues. And actually, the accent is kind of on theme this week as well because we're heading to the UK, or at least that region. I guess I don't know
It's Ireland.
Northern
It's
Ireland, which one is part of the UK and which one is like, no, we're not that.
Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and the rest of Ireland is like, no, we're not a part of that.
So this one is like, actually, we're not part of that. Don't do that accent. It's offensive to us. And then I say, I'm sorry, Queens. But this week we are doing Oddity 2024. Came out last year. And if you haven't seen it, the log line reads, a psychic medium attempts to uncover the truth behind her sister's murder at the site of the crime.
Dun dun dun.
Which is all that I knew about this movie going in. It's the only thing I knew.
I am so glad that we are doing this movie because it made me watch this movie again. And then I'm also really glad that I watched it again today instead of just last night when I was falling asleep because it took me to the third time to know what happened in this movie, literally at all. Yeah, not that it's so obtuse. It's just like they don't tell you what is happening like exactly. You have to watch the fucking movie and the first like and pay the fuck attention. The first time I watched it, I was giving it about 20%. Oh, I got the
Oh, I
vibe.
do remember you saying I watched this movie with like 20% attention, and I think it would be good if I really sat down.
Yeah, I was sitting right where I am
Okay,
right
I remember
now,
that now.
editing for the podcast and like looking up periodically. Guess how much of this movie is fucking visual things with no words? All of it,
Like
like
a
all of
lot
it.
of it.
Literally all of
Yeah.
it is atmospheric, spooky horror. No idea about anything. Certainly didn't know it was about identical twin sisters. Did not figure that out.
Well, it's like we've talked about before. Sometimes you take one person and you give them different hair, and it's like, that's a new person.
It's a new
That's
bitch.
mostly an experience that only you, Chelsea Duff, has on this podcast. You're always like
On this podcast, maybe, but not in the world.
you get face blindness from different hair a lot. This come up like 3 or 4 times on the pod. Sydney, back me up here. I'm not
They
making this
tricked me
up.
on purpose, and I'm the fool for falling for it. That's crazy.
They tricked me on purpose. This one, I don't think that they're trying to be tricking us at all. But I just having bleach blonde hair and a bob is like really transformative for this actress's facial features. Okay.
And like blurry eye contacts because
Yeah.
one twin is blind.
Carolyn Bracken is a chameleon, okay? So it's none of our faults in this singular regard.
She's implying something about other regards, but I think we should move forward.
Yeah, I also did not get that they were the same actress the first time I watched.
I didn't understand that at all. And also didn't understand like huge plot points of the film when I watched it last night because am jet lagged. And I was watching it and it was so spooky when you're sleepy in your house. That is actually a really great way to watch it, but not a great way to know what happened in the movie at all. Because I like watched it again today and I was like, oh my God. Well, okay. Thank God we did this. Otherwise, I would have sounded like a fucking dumbass on this episode. But don't worry, y'all. I was honest up front and now I'm going to be smart for the next hour and a half.
Amazing. Yeah, I watched this movie last night. I did want to watch it 2 times, and in my overachiever's beautiful heart, I was like, I'm gonna watch it over the weekend even and have several days to think about it and circle back. But as I mentioned, perhaps in exclusive content, I'm procrastinating a lot lately. So that didn't happen. But last night, I was like, I guess I could stay up late or wake up early to watch this. And in my heart, somehow I just knew this was a stay up late movie.
Oh my
And
God.
it's only
That
an
must have
hour,
been
40 minutes. So I was
incredible as
like,
an experience.
yeah. I started at like after midnight. But I was like, if I wake up, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and I'll kill myself. So that is the way that it shook out. And it is certainly an overnight movie. Like that is the setting for so much of it, is like in the dark at night. So I think it was something divine. I channeled something divine, just like my podcast cosplay for the day. If you can't tell, or if you're not looking on YouTube at this moment, and you'll circle back later, I'm so sure. But I am dressed as Darcy. And I was telling them before we started recording. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Yana. I'll just like I have that wig that looks like Yana's hair. I have a blue satin jumpsuit." And literally this morning, I was like, "Can I make this look like a long sleeve shirt somehow?" No, was the answer. But I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Yana because it would be like offensive to be Darcy because she's albino." But that turns out it's not true. That is not
This is
correct.
so
That's
funny.
an assumption I made
You
early on.
you thinking that she is albino makes me feel better about not understanding the movie even at all, but that is less bad than me not understanding the movie
She's so
even at
pale.
all.
She has bone
She's
white hair.
Irish.
She has impaired vision. Those are all traits of albinism. And I just, made a conclusion that I thought the movie was giving me information. And then later they were like, she's identical twin sisters with this brunette woman. And here's a photo of the two of them as brunette children. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't challenge it until I was like going about my daily life today. And then I was like, I think she dyes her hair. So I decided it was okay to be her, actually.
Mm.
So that's what I'm doing today.
Appropriation of
It's not
people with
appropriation to not
albinism.
have repaint your hair recently
So
enough. So we're giving
fucking
it a shot.
funny. I've scrolled back in the text so I can say I woke up this morning and had a text from Chuff at 2:20 a.m. that said, "Okay, Oddity slay."
Yeah, I texted the group last night when I finished too. And I was just like, this was worth staying up late for. Like, this was a good nighttime late movie. There was one moment, the audio in this movie is crazy. It is like very jump scary audio. And I did get afraid that I was gonna upset my next door neighbors at almost 2 a.m. with loud noises such as that. So I started. Shout out to Roku for this feature. You can use your phone as a remote for your Roku, and then you can also use your phone as like your remote listening device. So you can just have your phone near you playing the audio from your TV.
Oh.
Because I tried it with headphones at first, and then I was like, I don't want it screaming in my ear suddenly like that. So I put it on my phone, and then it was perfect. It was like I was in my own little bubble. I was dialed in. The sound was loud and nearby, but not bothering anybody else. It was great. Great way to watch this movie.
Totally. I just wish I had watched this movie for the very first time, like fully giving it put my whole pussy into it, you know what I mean? Because this is like the quintessential like Monica movie. It's literally ticking all of my boxes and a lot of Sydney boxes too, because we have a shared love for oddities and taxidermy, okay, and all that shit.
Cursed objects.
And cursed objects. That's like if you looked at our back and forth of what we send each other on Instagram Reels. On Instagram Reels, because she accommodates me and my non-TikTok lifestyle. It's literally
could never be me.
Taxidermy,
for you guys.
cursed item, cursed item, cursed item. Just back and forth, weird drawings of weird little bunny girls, like that kind of shit. You've seen the bunny girls. Everyone's seen the bunny girls. The bunny girls are actually relevant to this film because there is a bunny. We'll get to the bunny. But yeah, I wish that I could have watched this movie and actually watched it without knowing like the twist or whatever, because like when I actually fucking watched it, I already knew what fucking happens. And so I didn't have that opportunity to like be wondering what the fuck was going on. Like I already knew, spoiler alert, that it's a fucking plot from the husband and all that shit. And so like what was it like, Chelsea, like watching it from a fresh perspective? Because I feel like Sydney and I both half watched and and then watched it again. So I don't know.
Well, Sydney, would you say that's accurate? Had you like half watched it before you
Yeah.
tuned in this time?
Yeah,
Okay.
the first time I watched it was like I was doing laundry and I was like, "Oh, I need
Mm.
to watch this." And so I was like running around and like doing things and just like had it on in the background.
This is why I'm always like, oh, I should watch more horror movies in my free time. And then I'm always like, no, I have a professional responsibility now to pay full attention. So I don't. And then every 6 months I go, no, I don't. I can watch whatever I want. And I'll watch like two things. And then something like this will happen where it's like, yeah, it really is better when you pay attention.
I don't like half watching a movie anymore. I just like I do that with Love Island. Like I just
Yeah.
always feel like I'm like, why did I watch it
Half watch
then?
TV. Don't half
Yeah.
watch a movie. Although
Yeah.
I'll watch a movie, I'll just like pause it 37 times as I do other things in between. So it's not like I'm giving the movie my full attention when it's on, but in like 3 minute spurts. However, this movie dialed in, lights off, on my couch, full attention, nothing else going on.
Locked in.
I'm a very good guesser, so I guessed it pretty early on.
You are a really good guesser.
Sometimes my guesses
He was
completely
being
off
weird.
base, really far off. But a lot of the time, I'm right on the money, girl.
Yeah. I feel like the story isn't like so shocking necessarily, like plot, like hard plot points wise, but I
Yeah.
just feel like the similar to Strange Darling in that way where it's like a story, the story is one that's been told before or whatever, but like the way that it's told is so frightening. I really think this is a very effectively unsettling movie. Like I was really freaked out last night and again today. Like I've now seen this scare quotes, seen it three times, and I know when all the jump scares are coming. They get me every single time with this movie. They did them like jump scares, you can say they're cheap or whatever, but these ones were like really well crafted. And I love that it was like such a great like combo pack of like different types of horror, like the home invasion horror that is so scary because it feels so personal to you, like it can happen to anyone. And then also like these more far-fetched things, the supernatural aspects of it, the folk horror aspects of it, like it just the haunting aspects of it, like it really has it all. It has all the different kinds. Maybe not all. No body horror. Oh, that's not true.
Mm,
There's a
there's
compound
a little
fracture in this movie. There's a compound
Yeah.
fracture in this movie. That made me gag.
bit. Yeah, I think I had a lot of internal monologue that would not shut up last night that was just like running. But then there would be moments where I would get like so sucked into the film. Like the thought that the setup with Danny Tins, when she's home alone that first night and there's the knock on the door from Olin,
Mhm.
and that whole interaction, that whole first shot of them, I was like sitting there lasering my eyes into the screen. Like I was locked in because I was like, this is such an interestingly well set up conundrum in terms of like, of course,
Yeah.
this person is not behaving in a way that makes you feel safe to open the door for them,
Mhm.
but also it's not like you're at a home you've lived at a million years where you know that you can just easily call the police and have someone come over and come by and be there in a minute. Like you're out in you're far away from everybody
And
else.
she
You
literally
only have
doesn't have her
service in
phone.
one
Yeah.
spot. You can't find your phone even if you did have it for service. Um you are so unbelievably vulnerable. And while this person does not seem they're first of all, they're a stranger. So that's always alarming for somebody to be like,
Yeah.
let me into your house. But they seem like their energy, their affect is so
It's hard to
charged.
read.
It's
Mhm.
really hard to you can understand why it would be charged if they're 100% correct and they're telling the truth. There's also so much room for them to be someone who is, I read a Reddit thread recently, or somebody commented on a Reddit thread talking about an incident that they had where somebody broke into their home and like woke them up in their bed being like, they're looking for me, they're gonna get me, like we gotta hide. And they were like, and they ended up being like, okay, we're going to hide in the closet. You go hide somewhere else in the house and we'll call the police. And the guy was like, okay. So, like, this was clearly a person who was like not doing okay. Um, and you could see something like that happening where it's like, this is someone who is not okay, but does not mean you harm, maybe even wants to help, but might not be giving you an accurate version of reality. But also, like, they could be giving you an accurate version of reality, and are you going to completely
Yeah.
dismiss them just because they don't seem like the most reliable narrator for you? Like, what if there really is a stranger in the house? They were
Turns
standing
out
there watching, which
it
is
was.
unsettling, but yeah.
Oh, this movie is such a fucking tragedy on so many different
Yes.
fucking levels. Like, let's dive in with Olin. Like, once again, no shame to the decisions that Danny made in the moment because, like,
Yeah,
like
I
her
love the
sister Darcy
Yana Darcy
says,
part where it's like, are you stupid? Where it's like,
Right.
oh, are
yeah,
you stupid?
yeah, that part was so accurate because it's just like what I'd let a strange man into the house in the middle of the night when we're in the middle of nowhere. Like the only thing, like in any normal realm, like the only thing that's keeping her safe from this stranger is that door. And why
Door.
the fuck would she open that? Why would she breach that? But then you have in the back of her mind she heard those sounds. She heard the sounds in the house, like as she was out there at her car with the door wide fucking open. And she can try to be like, okay, that could have been him. That could have been Olin. And that could have been what's going on there. But like, she's not sure. You can tell she's really having this internal monologue. And then also with Olin, like, it's so sad because he is, as we find out later on in the film, like such a like tragic character. He looks like a little he looks unsettling because he has the prosthetic eye and he's got a cool prosthetic eye. Let him have his cool glass eye. He chose that. He chose to have a cool spooky eye. I like that about him.
Okay, a couple things about Olin. Um, you can get a backstory from Damien in like 2013. He did a horror short that is called How Olin Lost His Eye.
Yeah. Okay, but apparently I didn't watch it, but apparently like the narrative of what happened in that movie is or that short film is not doesn't isn't congruent with what happens in this movie because later on Darcy says because we'll
His
get into why
mom like took
his
one.
mom tried to like cut out his eye or something was abusive and so then she was coming for his other eye and he killed her and that's why he was put away for 17 years because he killed his mom. And then he literally just got out. And the first thing that he does is go to try to help her
Try
because
to
he
help
has
someone.
knowledge that
Right.
that could save her life. He knows something that could save her life. And instead, he has some like socially strange things because he's been incarcerated for his entire fucking life. And so he
Mhm.
Yeah.
doesn't come across like I understand why Danny doesn't believe him, but then like he's just lived this tragic life that ends so horrifically. Oh my god. Yes, Chelsea.
Just a side note about the short film, which I also haven't watched, but I did read an interview with the director because he has another short film, full-length theatrical film, I'm not sure, called
Full-length theatrical
Caveat.
film called Caveat. Yep.
Yeah, and there's something about that that is like, I think not exactly the same, but perhaps a very similar item that you can see in the Oddity shop at one point. And
Uh-huh.
he said he likes to do a lot of nods like that, kind of Quentin Tarantino style, where it's not necessarily like confirming that it's the same canonical universe or whatever, but it's all like pulling from the same base of material in many ways. So it's kind of, they said something like it's all the fingerprints of the same imagination as opposed to like tying things together. But you can see how maybe he made that short and then was like, this is an intriguing character to use. I can pull this character in other ways, and then like it's kind of like an alternate universe version of that character.
Exactly. He said, I think we read the same thing. The director, whose name is Damian McCarthy, he said that he doesn't like the idea of the like cinematic universe that is so popular these days, where they all the movies live in the same world and it's all connected and blah blah blah. He's like, that's fine, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, there will be nods and homages to my other work within my work, but it's not like all the same story. He's not trying to make 2 + 2 = 4 every time. But I do love that. I love that the rabbit that we see in the oddity shop that has the symbols and claps the symbols at one moment. That is like the main spooky item of Caveat. And I want to see Caveat so fucking bad now after watching this movie. It looks
Yeah.
so good. I
I think I
literally,
read that in Caveat it plays the drums maybe, so it's like a cousin item kind of.
yeah,
But I'm curious. I really liked this, and I definitely would be curious to check out more of his work because he's the writer and director on this movie. So he's coming up with the story and he's leading how the story is told.
yeah. Ugh, it's so
But yeah,
spooky.
you mentioned Strange Darling earlier, and that was definitely one of my movie touch points when I was watching this, just in terms of like the way that information is parsed out and the way that it is kind of like leading you to make assumptions and draw conclusions before it reveals more of the story. That definitely felt like it's not the same because Strange Darling is doing that by doing things out of order, whereas this movie is just like, here's what we quote unquote know, and here's what we can draw from that, and then it's like later you get more information because Darcy can do her thing, because like in The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
um Theo's that character's name.
Yes.
Well, I think Theo's more about touching people, but Darcy can touch objects and read objects, which is very cool.
It's what, like Echo Touch or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that for a second, as I was watching this movie, I was like, is that a plot hole in this movie though? That she unravels everything that she unravels after touching Olin's eye, but like isn't able to figure it out sooner by touching an item that was owned by her sister. Um, but I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that you could think that the guy who's in the house is also Olin because there's a mask on.
I
Um,
also think if we're are we getting into spoiler territory? We kind of already have said
yeah,
because
I
the
already said
husband thing.
spoiler alert, the
Um
husband thing.
I don't remember what item. I mean, I guess she could have done any item of the sisters. But I think what makes the eye in particular such a good conduit for this is both, like she said, it's a personal object, which helps. It's so close to the skin, which helps. He literally is wearing it inside of his body
And it's literally his
100% of the
eye.
time. And
So
it's
it's
his eye, what
everything he
he, in theory,
sees.
sees with. Yeah. Um, and it was like on his person during this incident, both when he was like hearing the planning of the crime and when he was like witnessing the commission of the crime. Whereas like the camera or whatever, for example, that is there and that is witnessing, but it's not like so tied to a person or experience or whatever, blah blah blah. Like I think the
Yeah.
fact that this was so like integral to what was going on was part of what made it so easy to immediately know what the deal was.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because she literally seemed to know like everything about him. And yeah, I guess she could have done her own research too, but he was literally incarcerated for 17 years because he beat, quote unquote, beat his mother to death. But she knows like what happened leading up to it from just touching his eye. Like, oh, if she had taken his other eye and was coming for the other one, I would have fought for to the death to save my eye too. You know, like that shows like this like crazy amount of knowledge that she got from it. But I do really think because there was the mask and there is the gap of time between when Olin leaves and when the spooky other guy shows up, um, you know, she also was going on the information that she had. She couldn't have guessed that it would have been the husband, Ted.
Hiring somebody else to do it too. He's
Hiring
not even the
someone
one
else.
in the mask.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, I think that because I thought about that too, because like she knows that the camera was set up on a time lapse. And one of my discussion questions is like, did Ivan go through and delete the photo off the camera? Because it would have been very easy to have like Yana stumble across something potentially, although obviously they didn't want to reveal that information in that way. Um, but so like, is that photo still on there? We don't know. But also like Darcy is blind. So maybe she was like, what would be the point? And like asking to look through the photos if I can't see them and I'm relying on Ted, Dr. Timms, to describe things to me. Like he's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, I don't know. Like I'm sure she was like, things have been handled. And also we know what happened. So like maybe it's not even occurring to her to be like, I need to know more than that. What she wants the eye for is to know like, does he feel regret? Is he sorry? Did he think about her as a person? Did that stay with him as like violence that he inflicted on somebody else? Like that's the lingering question that she has. It's not what happened. It's like what does he feel regret for what he did?
And yeah, and also like just being the person that she is. She is a collector of oddities. She's a collector of macabre items. And she has this power. And it's her twin. Like they're twins. I'm not a twin. I don't know. But I hear
Mm-mm.
about twin things. It's a connection that I can't ever understand, but it's mad deep, especially if they're identical twins as they are. Um, and so like she also might just want if she had this is so dark, sorry, but like if she has the eye, she knows what the eye might hold because it is such an intimate piece of Olin that was literally inside of his body when he potentially murdered when he to what she thinks murdered her sister. Um maybe she wants to like be there for that those final moments that she was alive, you know, as well, just as some sort of sick closure. Because it's all of this is happening around the exact year anniversary of her death, and you know, some people process in different ways. I can see that being part of her motivation.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I really like her character and everything that they did with her and all the ways that they like revealed things through her. I loved her interactions with Yana. I loved Yana. She's like kind of a bitch, but in a way that I'm like supportive of to some degree. But I started to be not suspicious per se of the husband, but I started to hate the husband basically the first time that we saw him when he was having
Immediately.
yeah, the
Yeah.
phone conversation with Danny. Um, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of this movie, I was doing my thing where I was like connecting the dots to other things I've been watching and
Mm-hmm.
seeing recently. And I was just like, this is a man who wants every woman in his life to shut up and stop talking. And like first conversation, she's like, maybe we can have my sister over for dinner tomorrow. I'm worried about her. And he's like, she's fine. She can take care of herself. He's like, I'll call and tell her to go to the doctor, but he doesn't say I don't want her to come over for dinner. He's actually um he's very skillful at the way that he talks around things, but he does it to
Mm-hmm.
Darcy later on. He does it to Yana. It's like he'll say anything to get you off his back basically, and
Mm-hmm.
he just doesn't mean any of it and he doesn't expect to have to follow up on any of it later.
he's just got such a weirdly, like, he's got like an insanely clinical look at life. Like, everything is so scientific,
Logical and has to be like,
yeah, methodical.
Yeah.
That's why he got away with it for as long as he did. Um, but he's just like doesn't want any mess. So he would rather hire someone to kill his wife so he wouldn't have to go through a messy divorce so he can get everything that he wanted. Like
I
that.
want to have my girlfriend and I want to keep my house. Why can't anybody understand?
And he
Oh,
wants it right
no.
now. He's not going to wait the year for the divorce to finalize. Like he wants it immediately.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So they're celebrating the year anniversary of her death, right? Like that's what it is.
That's when Darcy shows up.
Yeah.
Yes. So when Darcy's at their house and she's like, "Oh, how long have you been with whatever his name?
Ted.
Ted?" And
Ted.
she goes,
I think.
2 years?
Ted. It's Ted. She's known
No, she says,
him
"How
for
long
2
have you
years.
known him?"
Known
Oh,
him,
okay.
and she said
I
2
thought
years.
I thought she said, "How long have y'all been together?"
Yeah, she asked him when he came to her store, because he was like, "Oh, we're moving into the house," and then she's like, "Who the fuck is we?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I have a new girlfriend. I maybe didn't ever mention to you because I hope to never have to speak to you again."
But also,
And she was just, I went through such a tough time after my wife's death, and I couldn't possibly be an adult man who has to care for myself. I needed another woman to step in immediately to do all of the
Classic
menial
man.
household
men
tasks
are
that
That is
I
what
don't want to
they
be
do.
responsible for.
gonna move on, and I want it stated on the record that I never want a man to move on if I die tragically. Like
Be
I
sad
am
forever,
not
bitch.
I'm
I
not
need you
that
to
one where
actually.
it's like she would want you to move on. No, I wouldn't. No, I
That's
would
crazy
not.
because Monica and I have our next podcast host lined up, but I guess we'll just cancel those plans.
Yeah, y'all are never allowed to move on from
Don't bring
me.
that up. That's so funny. Yeah. Oh God, he's just disgusting. He's
Yeah.
just so disgusting, and he's so like they picked the perfect actor to play this role.
Yes.
William Lee, is that how you say it? That's not how you say it.
I don't know.
It's Gwilym. It's probably Irish. I don't think it's Gwilliam.
It's probably
like
just pronounced like
Squilliam
William or something.
Gwillem?
You know how they have
Willem?
their
Willem, maybe the G is silent.
I know. I'm like, I feel
Anyway.
like it could even just be one of those things where it's like it's Ashley, but it just has all those other letters in there where you're like, what?
Yeah. I just think that the irony of this movie is like so spectacular because like Ted's whole thing is that he is like so clinical, right? So sterile, whatever, in charge doctor. He knows best. He thinks he's so smart, using all his logical, thought processes to get what he wants. And so he thinks that this paranormal woo woo shit that his wife is sort of into and his wife's sister is super into is absolute bullshit. So much so that he, one, delivers the evidence that damns him to the lady with magic fucking spirit hands that can see shit. Like, he literally is like, hey, here's the confession. He has no idea because that would never occur to him that what she does could be authentic and real. And then later on, he gets like himself actually killed because of that same callous, superiority.
I knew that was going to come around. I was like, Chekhov's bell has to be something. And I didn't know for sure what it was going to be. But I was like, maybe when Yvonne went to her store, he rang the bell and then he's going to trip on these stairs and break his neck. And that isn't the way that it worked out, but that would have been fun too.
That would have been fun.
I really like how what's the word I'm trying to use? I don't know. I mean, it's a film. Of course, it's going to be calculated. But, like, every shot is so strategic and calculated in this movie. Because, like, so many things that I thought were just like atmospheric. Maybe, which is because I was sleepy and didn't understand the gravitas at the moment. But like so many aspects that were like maybe just set dressing, like showing, trying to get like the ambiance of how fucking derelict, creepy, spooky the like what is it called, psychiatric facility
Mm-hmm.
that the Dr. Timmons works at. They're
Oh, like the
showing,
guy gnashing his teeth in the where
yeah,
you
the
can't
guy
even
with
see him from the front yet.
that guy, and then you see the other guy who's like drawing on the balcony getting screamed at by Declan. Like you're, or not Declan, he is Declan, sorry, but getting screamed at by Ivan.
There's the moment where Ted is on the phone with his wife, and it's like he looks over and a patient has just like wandered into his room, his office. And so at that point in the movie, you're like, maybe there are patients who are like have too much access to his private life and are getting too invested in his personal life and what's going on and might show up at his house.
Yeah, they, all of it is so calculated and everything comes back to be relevant. And I love that so much. Something that I, the thing I'll tell you, I'll be honest. The thing
Yeah.
that I didn't understand is I didn't understand at all how the wooden man worked at all. I didn't understand what was happening literally at all because I just was falling asleep at all of the times when I would have fucking figured it out. And I like, I watched it last night. I finished it this morning and I was like, God, I wonder who killed Olin. I was like, how did that work? I was like, did Ivan kill Olin? I
Oh.
was like, I was so fucking confused. Well,
I didn't
that,
put that together either, but that makes a lot of sense.
oh my God, oh my God. So here's the whole picture of it. I loved that. I love this movie like 40,000 million billion trillion times more after I figured that out because, like, basically, my big question going into my last viewing, I was like, what the fuck is the wooden man? I don't understand, like, what it is. Like, did I miss something? How
It's a
does it
golem.
work? He's a golem, exactly, from Jewish folklore. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's a humanoid figure, like, made out of clay or something from Earth. In reality, the wooden man is made out of clay, but he's supposed to be made out of wood in the movie. But he's
Yeah.
made out of clay.
They're taking
And
inspiration.
yeah, so it's not the exact same thing. Um, but basically, she imbues it with her own blood. So that's what's happening. Darcy, I was like, what is this tooth, this blood, this hair? Well, the hair is obviously her hair, but I just didn't understand exactly what was going on. She literally like made it be like a conduit of her body because obviously she's a slighter, smaller woman. She's blind. She can't enact the violence and the vengeance that she wants to do. So she uses this golem to seek revenge and act out the revenge that she wants so desperately by giving it her blood, her tooth, her hair. Was there another thing? There was
The
something else.
photos.
The two
And the
photos,
photo, and the
young and
photo,
old.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, does it only ever move when she's like asleep, quote unquote, asleep potentially? Did you notice that? Or is
Yes.
that
Yes.
okay,
That's the
cool.
other thing.
Because I
So
didn't
basically, she
notice
like
that while I was
goes,
watching necessarily, but then I was thinking about what you were saying just now, and I was like, oh, that's her like trance
yeah,
state, maybe.
okay, maybe it was smart of me to realize these things and I wasn't just dumb the first time because I was like, what the fuck happened? Anyway, yeah, that's like, I guess it is a good movie to watch twice because they reveal things so piecemeal. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I guess, but I would have loved to have gone back and been like, here's the evidence, blah blah blah.
yeah, every time that she is asleep is when, or like, I don't think she is, doesn't necessarily have to be asleep because at the very end she is conscious, but she has to be inert and then her spirit like goes into the golem. And we'll talk about it again when we get to the end. I don't want to talk about the end all the way right now. But yeah, that's why I was so confused. There's a part later on in the movie. Well, like, okay, there's a part where one Ted Timmons sees the golem for the first time, and he's like, "This thing looks so familiar. Why does it look so familiar to me?" Um, And then I don't remember, and if you do, please correct me because I've seen this so many times now that I can't remember the exact order of operations, and it all happens, um, not timeline wise as far as like a series of events as they occurred in time, but how they are unveiled in the movie. I don't remember. But like Ted is like, "Well, this thing looks really familiar to me," and it's like sticks in the back of his head, and then he goes to work. And I don't know if we have the audience have seen the golem at this time or the wooden man at this time, but he's going through his files and he pulls out Declan's file, who is the man who had been drawing. You'd seen his drawings earlier in the film. He's drawn all the other psychics. They're not psychics. All the other patients in the psychiatric facility. And so he's going through some of his other drawings, and you see the face,
We
the
haven't
wooden
seen the
figure.
golem yet.
We haven't seen it. And we
Mm-mm.
also know that Declan was not was sort of a witness to the murder of Olin. We had seen that. We see it from Declan's perspective. He's in his hospital room and he hears these horrific sounds and yelling and whatever, and then he goes out, sees something so scary, closes the door, hides, and then finally he returns and he that's who had the eye the whole time. He was hoarding Olin's eye, and that's why it's finally retrieved a year later because he died of a heart attack. Poor guy. He's had a hard time too. But he had drawn prolifically all of these drawings of the golem because he saw it and saw it kill Olin. And I just I was when I figured that out, I was like, "Oh my god, okay." I was like, "How did Ivan smash his head and why?" I don't understand. Doesn't make
Look,
any
Darcy
sense to
says at
me.
that one point that she killed him, and I just was like,
Yeah,
and I believe you, Queen, and I
Right.
have no further questions. And then you just said right now the golem did it, and I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense.
Sense.
But
yeah.
it's just like she's a capable, independent
She
woman.
knows exactly what she's doing. Okay, I trust her.
I just
But
I
yeah,
think it's
it's
so
like
powerful that like she made that mistake out of her anger because how could she have known? And
yeah.
I don't know.
And that she like went there to get the eye, maybe, but then if she's the golem is like getting caught by Declan, or like she's seeing through the golem and realizes she's interrupted, she has to flee, or the golem has to flee. And the eye gets like left behind in the haste to get away, which is how Declan's able to snatch it up. But yeah, it's like we see them open the trunk after the trunk is delivered, and he's like, "That's familiar," and she's like, "Oh, you saw it at our mother's house, probably." And then later in the conversation with Yana, she's like explaining like, "Oh, wood is the traditional gift for a 5-year anniversary."
Yeah, I was
And a
like, "You
witch
dumb
gave it
bitch,
to my
we're not
parents.
married yet."
Right.
And also, she's like, "Don't say that we've been together for 5 years because we've been together for 5 minutes. I swear on my life. No more questions, please." But yeah, she's like, it's a witch gave it to my parents, and
Which I love.
blah
That
blah
was
blah
so
blah
funny.
blah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
this
like,
witch
that's
gave
such
it
an
to my mom.
interesting.
Well, it's a
I want
family
to. I have.
business, the Oddity shop, okay? So her mom
That's
was
true.
woo-woo as shit too. Love her.
That's so true. And I would love to know what her if her parents ever used it for anything, or if they just had it on hand as a lovely gift, or if they ever needed it, or if it was like specifically for the store as opposed to a personal present. I'm so intrigued by it. My first thought, unfortunately, seeing the back of its head, I know this is not bowling balls have 3 holes, but I was like,
Yeah.
put your fingers right in like that. Like,
Oh my god, that jump scare was so good.
that's what I wanted to do.
Oh my god. My cat literally keeps jumping up and tapping me on the arm like it's a little person, like she's a little person.
Hey, I have something to say about the movie.
Excuse me.
Oh my god, I thought that was a little cat that you were throwing, Sydney. I was like,
No,
I know they can land on their feet, but be a little more gentle.
one
Don't
of my
eat
dogs
kitty.
is so desperate to play fetch with her little lamb.
Little lamb. Dogs love a little
Lemmy.
lamb.
Oh, my cat ate a bone last night, so we're on bone watch to see if she needs to go to the emergency vet. So that's fun.
Ooh.
It's very fun. Love that, Daphne. Thank you for doing that. That's really nice of you. Oh God, I just really love this movie so fucking much. It's so juicy. There's so many juicy parts. There's so many unnerving parts. When Yana goes to put her hand inside of the wooden man's mouth, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then I was like, you're the dumbest bitch. This is like the whole, what is it Indiana Jones or the Mummy? With the hole you put your arm in. I don't know. There is a ride.
I think there's something
it's the
with the
Mummy
hole in the
ride at
Mummy.
Universal. You put your arm in a hole and then it attacks you. You're never supposed to put your arm in a hole. And I always say dumb people putting their arms in the hole. I always literally always put my arm in the hole. If there's a hole around in nature, I'm putting my
Of
arm in it.
course you
So
do.
I was like, Yama is a fucking idiot. She's pulling stuff out of the bowling ball holes in the back of this spooky thing's head. Why
At
would
least
you
she
do
went
that?
into the kitchen
I
and
would do
got
the same
She
tongs.
got
thing.
her forceps or whatever.
Well, it's a tiny hole. She can't fit her fingers in there. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. I think that that was humbling for me to be like, she's a dumb bitch, and I'm like, no, I am. I'm not better than her. I'm certainly not better than
I
her.
mean, yeah, she's a complex character, and I love that for her. She's such a bitch. She is
Such a
having an affair
bitch.
with a
Yeah.
married man, presumably at the beginning of the story. We find out later she certainly was having an affair with a married man. So that's not a good look. However, I think the movie kind of set you up in many ways at first to think that she was gonna get some kind of reckoning or something. And I love that that is not what happened, and that it really was just Danny like scaring her off, warning her away in many ways, just being like, this guy is a wife murderer, and this is the wife murdering house, and like, what the hell are you doing here, bitch? Get the fuck out.
Like, girl,
Yeah.
you're in danger.
Girl,
No, I
let's
thought
go.
that I loved that like aside comment that Darcy makes later where she's like, "Oh yeah, like what was Danny? Danny. Danny
Mhm.
scared Yana away. She was always the more reasonable one."
Mhm.
Meanwhile, like Darcy's like
Darcy's like, I'd kill her.
summoning
Yeah.
fucking golems to fucking not just murder, burst the fucking brains out of the people who were responsible for her sister's death.
Which, like, I understand. I feel like
Yeah,
I would be
That's it.
way
I understand.
more Darcy. I'd be like, you know what? Golem. Immediately go to the golem.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, you go ahead.
I just love that this is like such a collaboration of vengeance between the two sisters. Like they really are like coming together to do this final act together. And I think it's like a beautiful sad story of them. You know, they came in together. They're going out together.
Together-ish.
If not at the same exact time, a year to fucking day to
In
the
the same
day
spot.
in the exact same place. Like, oof. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Chelsea? Sorry, I don't want to get us too close to the end. I keep talking about
No,
it.
that's
I'm thinking
okay.
about it all the time.
Well, I think it's so interesting with Yana because there's in hindsight, I think it is kind of evident that like she really didn't know anything, and I suspect that she was very much manipulated in the same way that Dr. Timms was manipulating everyone around him, particularly women in his life.
Mhm.
By whatever he must have said about having some, frigid bitch wife at home or something, I'm sure, or we're
Mhm.
separate, whatever it is, and then it's like, oh no, we were separating, but now she got murdered, and aren't I the saddest man alive? And don't you want to be here for me? Because she does have these moments where like when she finds the camera and she's looking through it. I mean, she obviously is having her own experience where she's being like, I don't want to live in this haunted fucking house, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
In the
Like,
middle of
why do we
nowhere.
literally why are we here when we could be anywhere else? But she's like he's like, just delete the pictures. And she's like, don't you want them? It would be very understandable and normal for you to want to have something of her and hold on to that and have complicated feelings about that. Like, she
Yeah.
really seems like when he says to Darcy in her shop, she was there for me after Danny's death. I 100% believe that Yana was being a very good girlfriend, being there for him after Danny's death. She
Mm-hmm.
just didn't know. And why would he tell her that he was responsible for Danny's death? But like, you see that he treats her the same way because Darcy shows up and Darcy does not live here. And this is not Darcy's home. This is Ted's home. And now Yana lives here. But also, Yana, again, is being moved into this house that she's never going to be in a position to claim any kind of ownership over. Like, she's not the wife, even. You know what I mean? There's no legal
Mm-hmm.
stakes there. She's just the girlfriend who has to go along with what he says because this is her house or this is his house. And he won't send Darcy away because he's just like, whatever. It is easier for me to just be like, you girls do your thing and I'm gonna dip. He's just like, I don't care what happens here. I'm just trying to get out of this interaction as painlessly as possible for me. And anything else that is complicated or going to be a problem is not my problem.
He's such a fucking douchebag. Ugh. I also something that I think is again like back to the what I was saying about the connection between the two sisters and this being a
We're
collaborative
hello, we are
project.
connected.
We are connected. Two things about that phone call. One thing about that phone call in just a second too, but like the coordination and their connection is so strong. Like obviously like we find out Darcy gets a hold of the eye like about what like a week before the anniversary of the death of her
Mhm.
Yeah.
sister. And so as soon as she finds out, she's fucking planning. She's calling up FedEx. She's saying, I have a huge giant package I need to ship. How long will it take to get there? I need it to get there in time for this date. So she's starting her work right then. Well, guess who else is starting her work on her end? Who senses what her sister is doing? I mean, Danny has to be sensing this because I don't think that Yana, being the person that she is that we see in this movie, would have tolerated more than 2, 3 days of ghost shit happening in the
Mhm.
fucking house. Like Danny's like, oh fuck, the golem showed up, like, or the like Danny or Darcy knows what the fuck's going on now. Like, I'm gonna start spooking this bitch out of here because we don't need her getting caught in the crossfire. This isn't her fault. So I think that that was really interesting. But something else that like really like gutted me, that's like it's not that deep, but it can't be that deep if I make it that deep. I'm making it that deep. In the phone call that we hear or the voicemail that Danny sent the last interaction that Danny and Darcy would have had if Darcy had picked up the phone. We hear that voicemail finally later on in the film as Darcy is returning to her apartment so she can finally touch the eyeball and find out what happened. Um, but we find out then, like, the photo thing that has been happening throughout these like photos that have been
Mhm.
being taken on a loop. Like you're like, why is that going on? That was a project that Darcy gave to Danny because I think they're both woo woo. They come from a woo woo background. I think that Darcy more so than Danny, maybe, but like, who's to say?
I don't think Danny has like
Um,
the sight or like
yeah,
power or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah,
But they
but
both have
she's
this mom who owns the oddity shop.
she's open to it. But she literally says in this interview, in this voicemail, she says, "I put the camera on time lapse like you suggested, um, but so far all I've captured are orbs. I'd thought an old house like this would have at least one ghost roaming around,
Mhm.
and I just find it to be so tragic that." There does end up being a ghost roaming around that house, but it's her a year later. I just thought that that was kind of like a foreshadowing moment there as well. Um, and it just made me sad. This movie is so good. I don't know.
Can we
I thought
talk
that
about
the
the
writing
oh,
is really clever. Sorry, that's all I had to say.
I was gonna say, can we talk about the scene where after she sends like Olin away basically, and she gets back into her tent and she grabs the camera.
That is the fucking scariest shit I've seen in a
that's
long
the worst
time.
place
Like-
you could have been, girl.
Like,
I know.
here's the thing, and for all of America's flaws, I would have had a gun. You know,
Sure.
I would have been in my tent with my camera and my gun, and I would have
She
opened
didn't
it up,
even bring
and I
that
would have
hammer
seen
in with her.
the creepy mask.
That mask is so scary. The way that the eyes, are the dots are like through the porcelain are like bleeding out a little bit.
Yes. And
So
then like
scary. Great
I-
design for that mask.
I loved the cut shot of you see him like going into the tent and then it like blinks and then he's sitting back there and the tent is just like bloody.
Gory, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we didn't have to see it happen.
I'm very glad we didn't see it happen, but I just the visual of that was so chilling.
It's so chilling. And the
Yeah.
fact that like this one what I meant with like the great jump scare, like when she like opens up the tent when first of all, like her scrolling through the pictures and then suddenly there's someone there. Like, oh my God, that's so fucking terrifying. Your worst nightmare is real. You just turned away someone who actually was trying to help you. You made
Mhm.
the wrong choice. You made the wrong choice and you couldn't have known, but now you're fucked. And then you open up the zipper and it looks like the coast is clear, but it's not even like he comes out of the shadows like by the bathroom, like down the way. He's literally right fucking there. He's
Just doing-
right next to the door and just tips it like he's that close. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah. I was
Ooh,
thinking,
the
I was like,
blocking for this shit.
what is the strategy in a circumstance like this? And I don't know if you open the door for Olin. I think you certainly grab that hammer or whatever as a weapon. I think you maybe stay by the door while Olin goes to get help if you believe
all
that
your
he's going
sight
to get
lines.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, go get the camera and check it for evidence. I thought that that was a very good idea.
That was smart.
But to go in the tent, I understand how that would feel safe and cozy, but what a way to absolutely not be able to see anybody coming. So if you don't open the door for Olin, I think you stay by the door and you hold your hammer until, I don't know, daylight. Is that a way to get
Right.
through the night? I can't say.
Until
I
you
think
fall
if you
asleep.
do open the door for Olin,
Or
I
make
think
a run for your car.
yeah. I think if you open the door for
Fucking
Olin, you have
swanging
to
that thing.
make some sort of negotiation with him that you hope he holds to, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna back the fuck away and you can go look, but you don't come anywhere near me. And the second that you're taking a step towards me, I'm running out the door.
Grabbing my keys.
Yeah, you're
going
just trying
through
to
the
keep
door.
distance. And then go from there, but it is sure a bad position to be in regardless. There's that Ivan guy, he determined, you know, like he's gonna make it work regardless. He's gonna find a way, and he'll be killing
Yeah.
everybody if he has to, I think.
Ugh. And that whole scene is so horrific, even as it stands. But then when you look at it in retrospect, after you hear the conversation between Ted and Ivan later on when they're planning, and Ivan's like, what if there is a sexual nature to it? Basically asking if he can rape her. Like, oh my God. And like, we don't know. We
And
don't
Ted
know
is like,
what
no,
actually
but
happened.
I still want you to come do the crime. I'm
Like,
telling
he's
you,
like,
no,
I
don't
don't want
do
you to-
that. And I'm trusting that I'm somehow the utmost authority of all things in this world. And
He really
certainly
thinks he's
everybody's going to
God.
listen to me and do things the way that I want them done. And even though he's now explicitly expressed his desire to rape my wife, I'm going to be like, but you can still go kill her. Just be like so sweet and nice about it.
Just like do it kind of quickly.
Just like be like so gentle about it that so she is fully dead. But like I don't want her to feel pain. I just want her to fucking die.
So fucking ridiculous. And even Ivan realizes how fucked and stupid that is. He's like, "Oh, you don't want her to be in pain. You just want her to dead." Like the writing is pretty funny in a lot of these moments. But okay, let's dive into a different question that I have. There's a part later on, once everything has happened, which I'm not going to say because we're going to talk about that later. But like once Ivan is in the hospital, in the psychiatric hospital, and he's tied up, and basically Dr. Ted is like, "You're fucked," and I have you wrapped around my little finger. Like, does he say that he like? Did he like hand pick Ivan from the psychiatric ward and discharge him and then hire him for the express purpose of murdering his wife because he knew that he would do it? Because that's kind of what it sounded like. I don't know if I'm going too far, but
I think it was from a previous hospital that he had worked at. Or maybe he works at multiple facilities. I don't know. But the impression that I got was that it was he'd come from somewhere else and been hired here so that nobody here would be asking questions. But if anybody is looking into it, they're gonna have more questions and they're gonna be like, why did you do XYZ?
how fucking premeditated was this shit? I don't know if
Well, I
like
think he released Olin on purpose. I don't think he was like taking advantage of Olin's release date. I think he released Olin on purpose as well, being like,
as a
this guy beat
scapegoat.
someone to death with a hammer, maybe, I don't know. And so we can pin it on him. Like I think he really much he's planning all of this out for sure.
Totally.
And he
but
thinks he's
it's
the fucking master of the universe.
no, totally. And he has so much evidence to support that. I wish we could see him die. Too bad. um oh yeah, it's so juicy. That's so fucking horrific how far in advance he was planning all of this, that he handpicked this guy out of the psychiatric facility and put him in a position of power and then set him loose.
And then he gets eaten by a cannibal.
Yeah.
Which at least is great. Gets his little toes chomped.
That part
Finally,
was
we
crazy.
see what that guy in the gnashing teeth leather mask was
Yes!
all about.
That
Like-
return. Oh, that was the what was it?
You're
What
like,
did-
this
what
is
did we say
great
about
scene
the bell?
setting in the beginning of the movie, and then it's Chekhov's leather mask.
It's Chekhov's cannibal. Yeah, I mean, we should have known when he had the leather mask on. It's very Hannibal Lecter, but I thought maybe he barked. I don't know, maybe just biting for other reasons. But he eats people. He eats people. That's what he does.
Maybe he barks. We don't know.
Rough.
He's also rough. They're like, that's weird. We gotta tie that man up.
And he's like, this is kind of
Muzzle,
like bothering
muzzle
me.
immediately.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's see. Where else? Where are we? There's
I think for sure that Danny's ghost is getting stronger, especially when the golem arrives and when Darcy is there. And I think that there is like a connection for her with the golem as well. Because at first I was like, is Danny controlling the golem? Because I was like, obviously it's Darcy's hair and presumably Darcy's blood, but they're identical twins, so the DNA is the same. The golem doesn't know. And they're both in the both pictures. But I think it could just be like it's like charged with both of them kind of thing. But they only moved into the house, or they're only moving into the house that week. So Yana is only putting up with it for that week and getting gaslit the hell out of thinking anything is going on for that week. It's not like they've been there all year. It's like they just moved in. Which is also why I think Yana feels like she has no. Yeah, he says to Darcy in the store, "We're moving in," or "we're getting settled," or something like that. And that's when she's like, "Who's we?"
Oh, I think they've been there for a minute though because it's totally decorated.
That's true, but I think Yana is like the girlfriend at the end of Candyman where she's already put up her big paper clip and painted the walls pink. You know what I mean? It's like this is my space now and I'm taking over. If I have to live in this apartment where people are dying, I'm gonna put my big paper clip on the wall.
Dude, the art is so fucking creepy. It's all like scary, like what's the ink blot test? What are those called?
Rorschach?
Rorschach. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna say that wrong. It's like Rorschach shit, and then like looks like cracked spooky glass and like spooky tree limbs over a white black background. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Maybe he
do
did all
you
of
want
that.
it to be haunted? Like, yeah, it's scary fucking art. It's
We
spooky,
know he has
spooky,
an
I
scary
kind
art.
of like
evil,
it.
dark, scary brain. So
Ugh. Okay. Are we like getting close to the reveals and all of that jazz now? I feel like yes.
I feel like
yeah.
yes.
I feel like I just loved all of Yana and Darcy's conversations and the way that they played out. And I thought that the way that that is how the golem is revealed was so fascinating. Is like we see that they're looking at the trunk earlier when Ted is there, but we don't see what's in the trunk until Yana looks over at one point and the wooden man has seated himself at the table. And she's like, "Did you do that to Darcy?" And Darcy's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
He's like,
bitch."
no, I
Right?
didn't.
How
I
could
love how
I
they
do that?
slowly unveil how he moves. It's so good. Like Darcy's doing fucking psychological warfare. She's sick with it, and as she should
I
be.
love a manipulative queen.
Yeah, make Yana feel like she's going fucking insane.
I'm still
It's a
over
Hashtag
here.
tag
I didn't turn
team
the
babe.
lights
effort.
off.
Yeah, I'm sitting over here in my chair like this. I couldn't have done
I'm just
shit.
over
What do you
here, arms
mean?
extended at the table.
Yeah.
Totally normal, real casual.
And I love that like the second she pulls the blood out, like Darcy's up because like the connection is
Well,
broken, I
you
think,
can
in that
see
moment.
her like when she's pulling stuff out and they pan over to
Oh.
Darcy, you can see her like moving and she's like feeling the back of her head.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah. So
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. I remember
yeah,
that. Good eye. Fuck. Ah, the choreography of this movie. It's so good.
this
It's
movie
so good.
is so
Okay.
good.
I also just
But
loved when Yana's like upstairs and she's making the phone call to be like, "This is fucked up. I'm not doing this shit. Why are you putting me in this position? I'm gonna call a friend and leave or whatever's going on." And then the reveal when she like looks down and it's like up
Yeah,
at her. That's so scary.
so
She
that
drops
was
scary.
her
jump
phone. I was
scare.
like, what a good way to get her phone out of the picture, also.
Correct.
I also love the confrontation between Ted and Darcy when that finally occurs. But I have a lot of questions about it. I don't know why she was up there. Why was and I don't need to have an answer to everything. Part of the whole inspiration for this movie, according to Damian McCarthy, who's the writer director, he was very inspired in part by oh my god, I'm forgetting what it's called. The Wicker Man, the OG one from the
Mm-hmm.
70s. Because he's like, you see all of these rituals that are happening in that movie, but you never understand what the fuck they're for and what they're doing. You just see the aftermath. You just like know that there's something happening, and then you don't need to know like the incantations that they are saying or whatever. You just know that there's something otherworldly occurring, and that's kind of how he played it in this movie. We don't see a montage scene of Darcy like with some jazzy music playing, like cutting her hair and taking her blood out and yanking her tooth out and putting it in the thing. Like you just like you have to put two and two together yourself or be okay with not having all the details. But like she's up there. Why? She's right in front of the fucking trap door. Why? She has the eye and then she has the ring. Did you notice that? Whose ring is
I did
that?
notice the ring. I think it's
What's the
his, I think
ring?
it's Ted's ring, and maybe that's why she went upstairs to get it, to be like, what is the deal with him and
Mm.
Yana? Is that his motivation? And
Oh,
that's
I
why she
wish.
tells the story earlier about, oh,
Okay.
this woman brought in her husband's ring and I could see his affairs. And presumably that's also like, she can see the object being taken off every time a man is going to smash his side
Hmm.
piece in the hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um,
I. Uh. I like. Sorry, I got a weird email.
That's okay.
Sydney, cut this part out. Uh, I wish that they had like had some sort of scene to elucidate that, because I just went down this like whole fucking terrible mind journey trying to explain why she was up there and what the ring was. Because if they had just had a scene of her like going into the bedroom or something, that would have made it a lot better for me, because I was getting scared for a second there, because I have two questions. She says in this whole scene where she's spelling out everything that Ted did to his face and that Ivan did to his face, and Ivan is, or Ted is really doing his darndest to be like, "You're a crazy bitch," but like, wow, he's really good at keeping his
You're a
shit
crazy
together.
bitch, but it's not your fault. You have brain cancer, but don't worry. I'm gonna get the detective and you can tell him all of this and he can investigate if that'll make you feel better and put you at ease and
I
get
think
you to
he
shut
is a
up and go
sociopath.
away.
Yeah.
I think he's a sociopath. Like, he is so unfeeling and unmoved. Like, it is so, it's wild.
I
But
don't think he
anyway,
believes for 1 second she loves me, and so therefore it would be a problem if we divorced. I think he literally is just like, I don't want to risk that I might not have this house that I put money into.
exactly. But anyway, with what Darcy's saying, she like is coming to terms obviously with the fact that she killed an innocent man, which is Olin. Now that she has this information, she literally took her hands in the form of the golem's hand and smashed his head into smithereens, into a pulp. Gross, cool, awesome. But then she's like, I will pay for that later. And then like her death is like so clever on Ted's part. Sorry to give him any props, but it is clever to open a trapdoor and so she falls through it
And
and then
lure
is
her,
mortally
yeah.
Right.
wounded. Yeah,
she
with the
can't
phone
see.
or whatever. It's like stupid, but it's good. But I'm just like, why didn't fucking Danny do something? Ghost Danny. Like can't like why is there like how would that be allowed to happen? And like
Danny
unless
wants a ghost friend.
I
Duh.
know. I mean, it could be her wanting to be reunited with her sister, but I don't like that. Feels fucked up to me. But then I was also like, because there's that long pause that Darcy takes before she actually goes to get the phone. And like, does she know that it's a trap? And she's accepting like the punishment for the murder that she did that was completely unnecessary. I don't know. I just didn't like love that part when I think about it too much, though it was shocking visually.
I think, and this is again spoilers for another movie that we honestly referenced a good chunk amount. It felt very promising young woman to me
I
in that
agree.
she's
I agree. And they also look the same. She looks like Carrie Mulligan.
um whether or not she is accepting that this is going to happen, I think she has accepted that it might happen and has planned for that eventuality, which is why the little bell arrives later through the mail. Is like she clearly had that sent in advance or some plan for it to be sent after she
Mm-hmm.
died just in case. So she
Mm-hmm.
is prepared for the fact that she's going to the house to confront a murderer. She
Murderer.
knows before she goes there that Ted did it. She is prepared for the fact that she might not make it out of this house. And I don't know if in that moment she
She
suspects what
knew.
is happening. I don't know. I'd want to rewatch also because, like, okay, we only see the golem move for the most part when she's like not um fully in her body, even if she's awake. Perhaps I wonder if that is maybe when Danny is most powerful too. So in that moment when Darcy is like in her body and is not using the golem, maybe Danny doesn't have full ghost strength either to intervene. I don't know. But that is
Yeah, I
definitely
don't
something I would
know.
want to be like on the lookout for on
Yeah.
another watch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like once I fully understood the golem thing, it really like elucidated the whole ending too, because like I was like, why did she let Ivan live? And she didn't let Ivan live. She died. That's
Mhm.
why Ivan survived, because she was about to smash his fucking head, but she's holding on in her connect, and then she sees Danny there, like basically saying like, come home honey, and she passes on. And that's when you see her head fall, and you hear collapse, and it's the golem dropping Ivan.
Oh.
Mhm.
So that's why he didn't smash that bad boy into smithereens. You see him; he's literally got the golem's literally the wooden man's got Ivan's head in a vice, like in between his fingers. He's about to do the smashy smashy that he loves to do, or she loves to do, because it is Darcy. And then she dies before she can finish the job. But I think that also works too, because like she said, what she wanted most of all was to punish him in a way that was greater than death by ruining his life. So leaving Ivan alive is a witness who's now been fucking terrified to death by this supernatural entity. And obviously we see it immediately makes him want to confess. He asks for a
He's asking for
priest.
a priest.
He doesn't want to be damned to hell, because he's like, if that's real, then God is, or
Yeah.
certainly hell is, and I don't want to be there with that fucking creepy ass thing. Um, and so like it does further her means, but I love it's so disheartening to see Ted continue winning, because he's such a fucking smarty pants. He's a dick, but he's a smarty pants, and he is in this position of power, this unique position of power where he can manipulate every movement in the system because he created it. Like, oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah, it's all very reminiscent of Promising Young Woman. It's just like the thing that men in power can continue to do unchecked. But then, she gets him with his one weakness, which is he doesn't think it's a weakness. He thinks it's a strength to be above believing in anything supernatural, because he thinks that those women who believe that are stupid, and he's smart. And that's why, folks, I don't do a Ouija board, because look what happened here. Ugh. The more we talk about this movie, the more I fucking love it. I could watch it 3 more times. I swear.
I think you touched on it a little bit, just like the moment
Yeah.
of like her seeing her sister and being able to let
Yes.
go. It's so sweet. To have this just like warm shot. It's such a cool tone part of the movie. Her in the blue light of night on the ground, bleeding out. And to look up and see this like rosy vision of her sister like looking down through the trap door. It's so sweetly done. And that's why this ending doesn't make me want to die the same way that Promising Young
I
Woman
was
does,
I
where
was
it
wondering if you
just,
were going to even like the movie, because that parallel felt so strong, because I know you hated Promising Young Woman.
yeah. And I think, that whole movie is just so, I think part of it was the marketing for that movie made it seem like a fun woman's revenge story, and it
Yeah,
is a
fair.
woman's revenge story, but it's not fun by any means. It's not like the whole time we're being like he she's tricking all of these terrible men. It's like we're seeing her suffering and punishing herself, honestly, for the whole movie, and she's punishing other people too, but she's punishing herself a lot. um
Mhm.
and that's what makes it really hard in that movie. And yeah, there is this like post-mortem revenge of like, I knew I might die and I was prepared to make that sacrifice, and I had a plan for it to still make sure you didn't get away with things, and that happens here too. But I think there's part of it is because it is like a paranormal movie, I think it hurts less, because we know that Danny's ghost is very much still in the house, and
Mhm.
now it feels like her and Darcy are kind of together. Or if it's a paranormal movie and ghosts are real and she is very much involved with and in touch with occult practices and happenings, it doesn't feel like her story is necessarily 100% over. It kind of feels like she and her sister could still have eternity together.
Yeah. That
And I
moment
think
does
that
make it a
They're
lot
hanging
sweeter.
out for the rest.
yeah, I think it feels like you can, even if you're telling lies to yourself or whatever, you can imagine something for the two of them, that they are reunited now. And you don't see him get killed, but you know it's coming. You know what I mean? And it's like, sure, there are arrests at the end of Promising Young Woman, but it doesn't feel as viscerally satisfying in the same way that this movie. I don't know. I think the explicit inclusion of life after death to some capacity in this movie just makes it like a little bit less bleak.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah. And like, yeah, their reunion makes it like that. You literally see that that's going to happen. Because I wasn't sure. I was like, because that scene is exactly in the same lighting and everything in the same outfit as the scene in the very beginning of the movie when you see Danny working on the house. So I was like, did we actually see that part earlier? And then I had this whole weird thing where I was like, did she have like a vision of seeing her sister there or something like that? And I missed it. I was sleeping. I was sleeping a lot when I watched it. Anyway, not the case. We're getting too deep. We're getting too deep. Um, but I really like that she's back in her like healthy form. She's not in her spooky, scary ghost form with the whited out eyes and all of that what we had seen when she's scaring Yana. So like she's in her element with her girl, haunting bitches, haunting an old haunted house. Iconic. Iconic. That's what we all want. If we're gonna have to die, you might as well get to be a cool ghost in the end with your twin sister. That's pretty
And I
good.
think that they are like maybe looking down through the trapdoor as they see the bellhop pop up and being like, "You stupid dumb man, you stupid
You
little bitch who
little
thinks you
bitch.
know everything and you're smarter than everyone else and there couldn't possibly be anything beyond your comprehension because you comprehend more than anybody else in the world because you're the smartest man alive." Well, guess what? The bellhop is real. You didn't believe me. I told you it was not to be fucked with, and I knew that if given the opportunity, you would fuck with it because you think you are so above everyone. Well, guess what? I am above in the trapdoor looking down. You're going to get smashed.
Oh, they're hee hee
It's
ha
just
haing for sure.
They're hee
and
hee
that's
ha haing up there.
oh yeah, and that scene is just so fucking good because like you see him be like, should I do it? Should I do it? Yeah, man, I'm gonna do it. It's not fucking real.
Fuck you,
Bing.
bitch.
And then, but then immediately afterward, he's like, wait, like, but
Gotta look
I
like,
around.
is
didn't
it
have to do that.
real?
Now
Like,
I'm
oh, and then he's like,
scared.
and then he's like, oh, I'm a smug ass motherfucker. I'm fine, actually. And that's when we get the wide shot where you see the bellhop there. And a little fun story about that part. Apparently, that's not the shot they wanted to end it with. They wanted to be like a shot where it's close up on the face of the bellhop or something like that, more in your face. But apparently, as they were shooting, the guy who was playing the bellhop, he was wearing these contacts where he couldn't fucking see anything at all. He was literally blind with them on. And so he's like, I'm just gonna stand here in one place between shots because I don't want to move around and get fucked up. And then
I don't want
Ted,
to trip, mess up the shot, injure
yeah.
myself.
And then the guy who plays Ted was just sitting there, like, chilling for a second. And they were just standing like that, like however many feet apart, just chilling. And then Damien McCarthy, the director, looked at that and he's like, "Oh wait, this looks fucking good."
Right.
He's like, "This looks really good. Let's get a shot of this really quickly too." And then that ended
I'm
up
sitting
being
there smiling smugly like a little bitch who thinks he knows everything. Well, guess
uh
what? We literally see the bellhop over your shoulder.
and with that song is so good. And the song is like, oh, like now you're all alone. But he's like, he is all alone, but he's not alone. Like, I just, ugh. And I love it when they use an old song, an old timey song to be spooky. It's so important.
Uh-huh.
So important. Okay, right before we go to our
Segmentos.
I just had
Segments.
one
I'm going to jump in
other
faster next time.
I'll
Right
give
before we
you
go to our segments. It's just called a segment.
that could be one of your bits where you fight with Sydney
Yeah,
every
we'll
time
argue.
and try to say
Who
segments
gets there
first.
faster?
Yeah, that could be one of your bits. Something that I'd never heard of this before, but this movie is also an homage, or like slight, not retelling, but like similar-ish story to a Stephen King novel called Needful Things. And apparently, it was the first book that King wrote after his rehabilitation from drugs and alcohol addiction. So that'll be a wild ride to read. But the story is there was also a film that came out of the same an adaptation in 1993. And the story focuses on, this is a quote from Wikipedia, a shop that sells collectibles and antiques managed by Leland Gaunt, a new arrival to the town of Castle Rock. It's always in Castle Rock. Um, and he often asks customers to perform a prank or a mysterious deed in exchange for an item that they are drawn to. And then apparently things get out of hand because there's all these pranks and crazy deeds going down. But it's all like this like antique oddity shop, and like you feel drawn to these certain items. So apparently that was another big part of the inspiration, which I loved. We love a little
I
nod to
loved
Stephen.
also when we're first in her shop and she's like, everything's cursed, by the way. I just lift the curses at the time of purchase, but everything is cursed, just so you know. And he's like, oh yeah, like how many people really are getting cursed when they're stealing things? And she's like, you'd be surprised how many things get brought back afterwards.
I thought
You'd
that was
be surprised by how
so
many
smart.
stolen goods get returned.
I thought that shit was so fucking funny. I was like, that's true. That's literally true. She's a witch.
Even if
She,
she's making it up, she's got a great story. And also, we know that she's the real deal, so she's not making it up.
so good. Okay, that brings us to the age old question, how could this movie be gayer? And I think that it's already has a canonically gay character in it, which is Darcy. You can't tell me she's not a lesbian.
Darcy lesbian, Danny bisexual.
Yeah,
Okay, but
Danny's giving bisexual vibes for sure.
And that beanie, and she's got a tent. That feels just bisexual to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yana could have been a boy.
That would have made me like Ted more, and so I don't
But-
want that.
But that would have been even more sinister.
Ugh, that he's gay.
No, that we liked him so much.
I think that there's actually a third canonically gay character in the movie, and it's Ivan.
I was
because
going to say the golem.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would
I
make
don't know.
like,
I'm getting
if-
asexual vibes from the golem.
That's true. He has no genitalia, and so
He's
he's
still
not
gay.
interested in any of those types of things.
He's queer. He's a member of the queer community.
He's a member of the
Exactly.
queer community. No, but there's that part where Ivan's like, "Oh yeah, so like we could go down to the old town where I grew up, and I could show you it, and I could tell you about the nun and blah 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 blah." I don't really know what he said. He says a whole bunch of things. He's like, "We could go together, maybe. What do you think if we went together, King?"
It's like he's doing sexual violence to women, but it's not the women part he likes. It's just the sexual violence part.
Exactly. Uh-huh. So I don't know. I got a little bit of a vibe there. I was like, he likes him. They're two little psychopaths together, but different kinds. They have different ways they do it.
Cannibal gay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cannibal, if not gay, like just part of the kink community with his foot fetish
Mm.
and his cannibalism. I think maybe
Very
is a
bones and
kink
all.
as well. Yeah.
I don't think you
Um,
can be a cannibal and not be gay, though.
Mhm.
Just feels
Right.
a little gay.
I
Hannibal
mean,
Lecter.
bones
gay.
and all. There's a lot of straight stuff
Bones and
happening
all?
there.
But he has his bisexual tattoo.
Yeah.
He does have his bisexual
They're all
tattoo.
bisexuals.
Yeah, Taylor Russell's bisexual too. She eats that girl's finger. You're right.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
the old guy, gay.
Gay.
Gay as the day is long. Sully, was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, remember all those little videos I made for that? That
Yellow
movie. Oh,
Jackets gay.
if I could feel
Yeah.
that feeling again of watching Bones and All for the first time, I would
Oh my
pay so much
God.
chicken
money for that.
wings.
While eating my chicken wings, horrible mistake. Literally a horrible mistake to do
On
that.
so
But
many movie watching supplements.
oh my God. But
Oh, that was
it
so good.
the passion that I felt in that moment. And then I was like, oh, let me read the book so I can relive that. And the book was the worst piece of shit trash I've ever read in my life. Anyway, that's on pining. Any other gay thoughts you'd like to share? We're
So
just
many more gay
experiencing
thoughts.
limerence. Okay, Matthew Lillard, where would he fit into this fantastic film?
He could be the cannibal.
He could
Yeah,
be the cannibal. 100%.
absolutely
Chomping.
the
He's the
cannibal.
cannibal. Or Declan, but I prefer him as the cannibal.
He could have been the delivery person who drops off the Colin
We
and the
never
Bell.
see.
Yeah, I think that was him. I think that was
There is
him.
he could be the bellboy. He would be great
Oh,
as the
yeah.
bellboy. Half of 1 second in the film and in like indistinguishable FX makeup.
I do believe he played a customer who came in and stole something from Darcy's shop and then later returned it to get the curse lifted.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Okay, I forgot
He
to
was
say
just
this.
goofing.
Okay, can I say a trivia fact
Mhm.
really fast because I remembered
Yeah.
it right now? They like designed the wooden man over Zoom because they had like
Oh
a
yeah, I
really
saw that.
short period of time that they could do it, and so like they couldn't be together. The guy who created it, I wish I had his name right here, but I don't. But he did an incredible job, and so like Damian McCarthy would be like, "Okay, can you cut off his nose?" Because he made it out
Paul
of clay.
McDonald.
Paul McDonald. Okay. It's like, Paul, can you cut off his nose a little bit? Can you cut it off a little bit more? Can you add some more lines here? Can you add some more lines there?
Can you actually put the nose back on?
Yeah. And then also something to note is that the wooden man has nipples and they're the knots in the wood.
I love that.
That's all of my facts that I have for you now. We can move on to the dumb bitch. Ugh. It's hard because Ted is like really good at this.
Yeah.
It could be
I
Ivan.
love Yana. I do want to give her a nomination because, like, girl, what are you doing? Don't have an affair with the married man and then move into his house where his wife was murdered. What are you thinking?
True.
That is never going to be a good. Oh, I'm just going to live in this house where his ex-wife was murdered, who he was cheating on with me, by the way. The juju is always going to be bad, girl.
Yeah. 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 No, I want to give her a nomination for sure. I mean, I wanted to ultimately go to Ted because, like, even though he's so smart, like I said earlier, he hand delivers the nail for his coffin
Yeah.
to the person who puts it there. Like, he
Just because he's a
literally.
non-believer.
Yeah, because he's a non-believer. He's a dumb bitch because he's like every other fucking, like, not every man, but most men in paranormal stories who are like
Toxic men.
toxic men who are like, I don't believe you, honey, that there's a ghost. Like the fucking guy
Darling,
from
he's just a
Paranormal
crazy,
Activity.
stupid bitch. It's just your sensitive female aura, and if you just were a logical man like me, things would be fine. Nothing would be happening to you.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like he knows his sister-in-law. Obviously, he's probably gonna know what her deal is.
I think he
He
really
doesn't
just writes it
believe
all
any
off
of
as
her
And
a
he
brain
just
shit.
doesn't
He
cancer.
doesn't believe it at all. He doesn't believe it at all, not even for a second. He's like, she's a fucking dumb bitch. Sorry she has cancer though.
Sir. Like,
I think he really is just like, maybe you believe it, maybe I believe that you believe it, but as a doctor, I know that those are just symptoms
I
of your
could
brain
never.
cancer. Even if your scans are fine, even if you're telling me your scans are fine, in my head, I'm like, I bet they're not.
I bet they're not. Oh my god.
I do think
so.
Sydney,
He's the
sorry I cut her off earlier though. I do think Ivan is deserving of a nomination because it's like, how do you know that this man is evil and that he is scheming on people and you think somehow you're immune?
agreed.
because he's in love.
Well, there's that.
Because he's in gay love.
Unfortunately, Ted is kind of hot, but in a way where if you look at him too long, you're like, oh my god, he's certainly evil. That's why it's
Yeah.
perfect casting.
That's why it's so good in the
casting.
beginning when he's like, I can be the villain. But then she's like, well, you'll be my hero. I was trying to say it in an Irish accent, came out really bad. Well, you'll be
That
my
was not even
hero.
close.
I was practicing in the car earlier and I was doing a great job, and you're just going to have to take my word for it.
I believe you, Queen.
But she spins it in a way where it's like she's so charming that you're like willing to buy in on maybe this man is worthwhile because she likes him and she seems great. But unfortunately,
No,
this man is duping women left and right.
he's a bad bitch in the. Oh, sorry. He's a bitch who's bad. Not a bad bitch.
A bad bitch.
Oh no, that
Those are two
sounds good
different-
too.
I was like, shit, that sounded good. He's the dumb bitch because all of your book smarts mean nothing, Ted. Because if you don't believe in ghosts, you're gonna get fucked by the bellboy. Anyway, that brings us to knives. I had a thing happen to my tongue there. I don't know what happened. Knives out of fives, anyone?
On IMDb, this movie has a 6.7 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, however, better numbers. It has 78% fresh from audiences and 96% fresh from critics, which is very good. And it made some rounds at some awards. It only came out last year, so it's like kind of still in the conversation with some of these awards. Like the 2025 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards haven't finalized their winners yet. And for the 2025 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, it is nominated for Best International Movie. It's also nominated for Best International Film at the 2025 Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Film Awards, and it won the Midnight Audience Award at the 2024 South by Southwest Film Festival.
Oh, cool.
So it's getting
because
it's getting
the
its
perfect
recognition
movie to watch at midnight, as Chelsea found out firsthand.
What can I say? I slayed it.
Dude, I might give this movie 5 knives. I think I'm going to. I don't want to hear. I'm not gonna do my thing. I'm trying to get better at just like believing in my heart, and listening to the beat of my own heart and what it says. I don't know. I almost just quoted Sarah Dessen, which was my senior quote, but I won't do that now. I won't go that far. I can't remember. It was something that was like, when everything slows down, you better be able to learn and all you could hear is your own heart. You better be able to like understand what it's saying.
You better work, bitch.
Or some shit like that.
You better work, bitch. Quote Sarah Dessen.
You better work, bitch. Anyway, I'll find it. I have it written down somewhere. Anyway, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 because this is just everything that I could want from a movie. I just wish I could punch old Monica, past Monica, in the face for watching this the way I did the very first time. The second time, being sleepy, I was really scared because I was sleepy. And so that added to it in a lot of ways, but did not allow me to realize what the fuck was happening with the plot of the film. But yeah, I think it's really well written. I think that the literal dialogue between the characters is really fun and funny, like how cunty Darcy is to Yana and all of that. Like, I just think that they do a good job of, like, I get a good sense of the characters just by how personality forward they are, even if you're not giving me a whole fucking million-year-long backstory montage or whatever. I just think aesthetically it looks really, really cool. I love what they did with the mask, all the oddities that we see in the oddity shop. That quick glance, I loved that. I love the wooden man. Even though it's very obvious he's made of clay, I still loved him. And I don't know, I just think it's a really, really interesting story, a very scary story that can get under your skin, and then also like a really, really beautiful story about sisters coming together for vengeance through spooky means. And isn't that what we all want? 5 out of 5.
Honestly, yeah. This movie fucks. 5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It doesn't, like, it has like a couple jump scare moments which are great, but like the atmosphere of this movie, the tone, like the setting is so creepy
Mhm.
that I just had such a good time and like talking about it and noticing like more little details. And now I really want to watch his other movie.
Caveat.
Yeah.
Came out in 2020, so it's also pretty new.
Yeah.
August might be new enough for August. Just kidding.
August, we should do it.
August, we can do whatever we want.
August, we might
must do
change
it.
our schedule for next week. But no, I'll bandwagon. I mean, I probably would have gone slightly lower than a 5 beforehand, just because you have to really shine. But also, like, this was so fun. I had a great time. I felt good watching it. I love to guess correctly. But also I think that through this conversation, there were certainly things that I didn't notice, that I didn't pick up on, that would be cool to see on a rewatch and look for. So I think it has great rewatchability potentially. I think it, like we were saying, you maybe should feel terrible about the ending, but somehow you don't feel terrible, which allows it to not be the most depressing, never want to watch again, never want to feel that way again
Yeah.
kind of movie, which is great. And I also, love to be part of a community. So I'll hop right on that bandwagon.
Let's go,
And I'm
bitch.
also willing to do Five Knives because I have no complaints. And I'm also very interested in this writer director's other stories. And I have a lot of respect for what he pulled off here. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, fuck. I just love European.
And also
lore.
it's so pleasant to listen to their accents the
Yes.
whole movie. Oh my God, I love it.
I want to watch all his shorts. I wonder where you can watch them.
YouTube, maybe?
He did all his shorts between
Vimeo,
2009 and
I'm
2013.
telling you guys. Remember when that was like the site for like film shorts?
Ah,
Yeah.
I was like, where you went?
the website still exists, so
Back in the
I'll
day.
get right on those Vimeo.com. But yeah, that closes the book on Oddity. But more shit's coming your way this month on
Chelsea, insert.
August, that you might want us to continue our new release theme into August.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I couldn't have said that.
Can I do it in an Irish accent?
Was that Irish?
Not
That was
on the
not
record. I
even
can't.
close
No, that what I
to
was
Irish.
contemplating if I could do it in an Irish
Okay.
accent.
Ah, okay.
And then
All
I
right, at
thought
least you're
better not to
self-aware
try
that
where people will be able to hear.
Do that in front of the mirror tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Practice.
yeah, and I'll do it 3 times in the mirror, and it will summon every new release from the last 3 years.
I love that.
Pay no attention to how we look completely different than we did 1 second ago. Anyway, also that wraps us up for Oddity, but Chelsea, say the name of the
August, that you might want us to continue the new release theme into August.
continues with a very special 2-episode event. Woo! Sound the
Yay!
alarm. We're coming up on a momentous occasion, an occasion that is celebrated by many podcasters, by anyone who reaches this number of doing something. Next episode is our, you guessed it, 249th episode. Oh, baby! And aren't we proud of that milestone? It's just insane. So we decided to celebrate it in a very special way by having our patrons vote on what movie we chose to watch for our 249th episode. And then things just got a little crazy. Where they chose a movie that we loved so much already that we pretty much would have done it anyway. So we decided to do something different. I lied before when I said it was a poll for the 249th episode. It was a poll for the 250th episode. But we like to do a little bit and we like to have a little fun. So we decided to have the 2 top winners, or the 2 top options, both win and do both movies and turn it into a 2-episode event. So we're kicking it off with a brand spanking new release for us. We're recording this the day after it came out. And that movie is 2025's Weapon. So what better way to celebrate our 249th episode? And then
if you wanted us to do it for 250, don't worry, you don't even have to wait that long.
Yeah, it's actually beneficial to you because you get it sooner than you would have. And we won't tell you what the 250th episode is yet. But if you're one of our patrons, you already know because you can look at the poll. So there you go. Now you have a
And
little
we're doing
extra
this one. So there's only one other
info.
option it could be.
Exactly, because literally people only voted for 2 of the options, and that's what made this
Everybody
a natural
wins
choice.
this week.
Everybody wins. We're so magnanimous.
Participation awards. Yay!
I hope this makes you guys feel good because I know there's been some sore losers in the past, and I understand why. It gets a little heated sometimes. So we're doing this all for you, and we're really excited to celebrate these 2 special episodes, 249 and 250, but 249. Wow.
249 is just special.
What a milestone. True. Anyway, why not give us a 5-star review? I'm not even going to do a preamble, okay? Why we're on top of it. We're reminding you of the movies you forgot to see in the theaters in the last 2-3 years, and we're giving you a reason to do it. That's pretty good. So, that's deserving of a 5-star review. We also look rather cute today, and we're being rather dashing and smart. So, 5-star review. Oh, Chelsea has sexy gloves. So
I'm
think
about to
that.
touch a cursed object.
Uh-oh. Don't do it, Chelsea. You're too sexy.
Wow,
No,
sexy
you're too
hands
sexy.
reveal.
Don't touch
Oh
a
my
cursed
God,
object.
stop. Does anybody have a little false eyeball I can touch?
Okay, here's the thing. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, my father actually collects glass eyeballs. So we have
That's
a
not- I knew that.
number.
Why didn't you overnight me one
them.
for my cosplay?
Oh, I should have.
Damn,
But
missed
listen,
opportunity.
spooky runs in the family.
Exactly,
There
just
you
like
go,
my
baby.
family.
There
It's
you go, baby.
hereditary.
Spooky runs in the family. I'm just saying.
So true. Okay, so also we gotta follow us on social media. Sorry, I'm not doing it.
You
I'm not doing any
gotta.
preamble. You have to do it.
You gotta do it. You have no other
stuff over
choice.
there. You're not gonna be able to see Chelsea's cosplay picture if you don't. So you better go over there right away. She looks dashing. She looks wonderful. We're at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. We also have a website, www.spookytuesdaypod.com. It's your one-stop shop for all the info about us, including a link to our Patreon. And spoiler alert, we have a big vote coming up. So if you join today, the vote will actually have already happened. Damn it.
I was like, maybe a little behind.
I didn't think about that.
But there's another one next
There's
quarter.
another one next quarter. You get to choose what we do on the pod once quarterly. And we also have a pop-in Discord. We're doing movie screenings together all the time. It's very fun. We're chatting about new releases, upcoming releases, and just our lives. We're becoming deep personal friends. So don't you want to join in? You should. We're also on YouTube, and we look cute there every day, all the time. There's hours and hours of footage of us looking adorable. Chelsea is looking adorable. You can watch it over and over again. Isn't that wonderful? I'm wearing a jaunty hat. Sydney looks dashing in green. And Chelsea is the spitting image of Darcy, who in my mind, for some reason, is named Iris, and I've had to fight myself to not call her Iris the entire episode. Just a little fun fact.
Well, there was an Iris in Companion and in Final Destination Bloodlines, and I feel like in one other
Love
thing.
Island.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of. You're right.
Anyway, you should subscribe to our YouTube. And that's it. At the end of the day, I have to say thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, spookies.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt.
Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.